Another week down, that means another week closer to the Godforge beta, or early access date that we've all been waiting on, so we can obviously get our hands on the game again. And on the channel, if you've never been here before, we've been trying just to give you some weekly content here through the weeks to keep you entertained, to keep you loving, obviously, and hyping Godforge. And today we're going through the ASGARD faction, and this one is a little bit special because Jag22 did request this out of all the comments, so big shout out to you, dude, for today's video. And as you guys should see, we love ASGARD here. I've got the faction hoodie representing. I'm just saying, I'm not going to be biased at all. I'll try not to be, but we do love the Asgardians here. We are team ASGARD. So thank you, Jag22, and everyone. If you've never been to the channel before, this is how we do things. It's quite easy. We're going to start from the commons, work all the way up to the legendary heroes in the faction. Just give you my first impression, something that might be spicy, something that really grabs my attention for these teams, and then just kind of work from there. Have a little bit of hype and see if you guys like certain heroes too, or if you dislike them. And if you want to, put it down in the comment section down below. Comment your whole thought process of the ASGARD faction. Do you like them? Which ones you don't like? And hopefully what maybe improvements could you do to the ASGARD faction? And if you guys want to join a really cool pantheon, hey, we've got one. I'm just saying, Camp Half-Blood, me, myself, and I am joking. Me and Adam, we've got Bradbod Gaming Zoo. You should know a lot of these content creators here, all doing different types of content, even on Twitch and on YouTube. We've got it all covered here. And if you're a, degen, just like me, I'm just saying I'm a hardcore competitive degenerate, right? We've got that for you. If you're a casual, you just like to play the game a little bit, you like to watch Doctor Who and then play a bit of Godforge 2. Hey, I get it, right? And we've got that for you as well. And if you just want to learn, you want to do anything, we've got any sort of, honestly, cabin with our leaders for you and our Discord, so you can ask for help and just ask for advice if you want about Godforge. So come and join along. Links in the description down below. You can see many people in here, and this is all being featured on Raven Pyrus's website if you've not checked it out. And we are going to be using that in today's video, because anytime we go through any of the kits and we see any of the buffs, and as you guessed it, the debuffs and disables, we will be able to bring them up for you guys if you're new, so you're not feeling left out, you're not feeling like, oh my god, I can't remember what that does. I will hopefully tell you if I remind myself as well, so don't worry. So with all of that said, let's get into the video. Smash that comment and subscribe if you want to join the Sneak Squad. We're completely loving life here. And let's get into it. Let's get into the fun stuff. So, straight away, we gotta go to the bottom, unfortunately. I know, but it's going to be a pretty fast one compared to a lot of the other factions, which is a little bit upsetting to say, because these are my boys as the Asgards, right? But the Berserker, he is the only common I'm going to make content for. You heard right, because this boy is the casino of casinos in commons. You can attack someone for 2 times for 145%. It's not too much, but hey, if we build him correctly, we're going to do a truck ton of damage potentially, and we roll the dice, boys and girls. 20% chance to get an extra turn, and that's what we're going to be making content on. You know it. If I can roll as many 20% in a row, hey, that's going to be history here on Godforge. I'm just saying, right? If I can hold that record, I'm going to do it. So this hero overall doesn't really offer much, obviously being a common hero. However, if we just look back in some of the other factions that we've gone through, right, there is some cool commons that you could run, and even uncommons that might have very important key words that you're going to need for your campaign. And you got to remember, no matter what, guys, campaign is super important. Getting 3 stars on those levels are going to give you more rewards, and you need those rewards to keep climbing, grinding, and obviously powering up your team. So this is why the early heroes, especially the commons and uncommons, some of them have a actual really good keyword that you might need just a 3-star level, and it's good to have early access to them so you're not stressing about it later on when you're trying to find your mid game and late game teams, right? So now, Shield Maiden. Unfortunately, our girl, the Shield Maiden that's going to go alongside our Queen, Lagertha, and you know, if you know, you know, right? Unfortunately, doesn't have too much in her kit. She does have, obviously, a 35% chance for an attack down 1. It's okay, early access to it. Same with a shield. But the thing is, I do assume most of the guys who are going to be playing this are going to find a really early on defender that's probably going to shield in a rare category, because there's quite a lot of them, which is quite surprising, to be honest, for myself. So I don't think we're going to need this, meaning, if you've guessed it, both commons, unless you want to do the meme with the berserker and be like me, you're gonna use both of these, unfortunately, as food ticket items. This is kind of a running theme, like I said, in the uncommons, unfortunately, because in the uncommons, we got the Yoms Viking, the veteran mercenary, and he's a brawler, so he's scaling off HP, strength affinity, all good, all good. But he doesn't really do too much. Attacks one enemy, not multi-hits, but 50% chance to place that defense down 1. And don't get me wrong, that is okay if you don't have that at all in your team. Because if you just need that 5th slot, and it's this guy, and he's just going to defense down 1 the target so you can try and burst through them because you just needed that little bit of extra damage, I get it. But you're not going to invest into him. You're not going to be working on him at all. And he's just going to be kind of that food for you. You're going to level him up, feed him to the actual gods that you need in Godforge. And this is kind of the same thing with the core and the ultimate. He deals 1 bit of bunch damage, heals the hero for 5% of the damage inflicted. It's okay. Ultimate, 800 divinity is not too bad. It obviously gains his divinity when damaging an enemy. It's okay. Attacks one enemy, 12%. But if you're under the shield or a barrier, which you've gained, guess what? You're going to have a 50% increase in damage. I just don't like it, unfortunately. You can see how they're trying to get the Yoms Viking and maybe the Shield Maiden, right, from the common section to work together. So these two working together would be a nice little early game Viking comp that you can definitely do in game. But is it going to be super game breaking? Definitely not. Valkyrie is a Slayer, right? And the thing is, this one's a little bit more interesting. You'll see why. You get to attack one enemy 3 times, and if this attack defeats the target, you increase this divinity by 100, which allows you to get to your ultimate. So if you kill 10 enemies, this is automatically getting you to your ultimate. You also gain divinity whenever you damage an enemy, which is just really good. And if you have a decent amount of initiative, that's just going to skyrocket up. You're definitely going to get this 1000 pretty often. The core does attack one enemy for 340%. That's a lot of damage. But you increase the damage inflicted by 50% to targets a line of chaos. Really good, as we've seen now with the tower, because I'm pretty certain in the last videos with Simon, if you listen to how he talks about the tower, it does seem to be, as I've been saying for the longest time, if you pick the Tower of Chaos, you're going to be only allowed Chaos units. Your team's going to be a Chaos team, but you might be going against, in the tower, all order teams, or a mixture still of the game, but you are going to be needed to be obviously focused on that in the tower. This is quite good because of that, right? Because it is an early game that you might be able to just have her in your tower team with like your rares. You got a couple of rares, maybe an epic, and her, and that's all you was able to pull early phase. But look, early phase is all you need just to get through maybe that first 10, maybe 15 floors, who knows, however it's going to play out. And then you can transition out of the Valkyrie into a better DPS, which I think is really, really cool, and a cool option that people have on their kits. Also, ultimate isn't a bad ultimate. Attacks all enemies for 300% attack. It's nothing crazy, but if the attack defeats the target, you get an extra turn. I'm just saying, if we get to go core into ultimate and then back into core, or even basic, should I say, right? That's a lot of damage that you could just burst out from nowhere. And what's really important is she's even got a multi-hit. This is 3 hits. She's got an AoE based in her kit and kind of like a nice little target focus. So is she game breaking? No, she's an uncommon. But is she actually good? She's not too shabby, right? She's not too shabby at all. You can definitely see some early use on her, but you are going to use it as food later on in the game cycle, as you'd imagine, with all 4 heroes. And there's nothing wrong with that in this game. And as you've probably seen with the ASGARD uncommons, there's no real campaign pushes, right? There's no guy, like, let's see if I can remember one from here. Right, you got Vila, which is pretty good because she has that extra turn, but she gets a defense down 2. That's really early on. And if you need a 3 stars and place the defense down 2, you've got it in this hero. You might not need to pull an epic or legendary hero, right? If we come over to these guys with the Shaolin Monk, right? This guy attacks with chaos, initiative up on himself, sharpen up. It's okay, nothing crazy. I might be mixing up with the Terracotta Warrior. Probably. There you go, speed down 1. Instantly, if you need that speed down 1, we can find it here in this hero. So again, these uncommons are more like campaign starters, while we've only got 1 uncommon, which we could use potentially in a couple of content, and you've just got to see what it is. So out of all of these, obviously Valkyrie does take the cake. So now we've gone through that, let's get into the mains, right? This is what everyone's here for, let's be honest. We've got obviously Aslag, Lagertha, Ragnar Lothbrok, we've got Sirius, Sigurd, Skadi, Ulfhedna, and then Vina, or Vida, should I say? Sorry, I thought you said Vina. I'm so apologies. I don't know why I read an N there. It is what it is. It's Vida. So Aslaug, right? Let's see the cleaver. I think that's meant to be, not the clever. It's the cleaver, right? Let's see what she does. First one. Attacks one enemy 2 times for 240%, not too bad. Each hit will place speed up 1 on a random ally. Ooh, so she's able to place speed up 1 on 2 allies with that. That's pretty cool. I like that. Nothing crazy, but hey, I like it. Place block debuffs. Ooh, I like that one a lot more. On all allies for 1 turn and increase their turn meter by 10%. Not too shabby. We can't see the turns on these, which is a bit upsetting on the premonition, but hey, we'll take it. Ultimate says place stalwart on all allies from Asgard. So this is a little bit of an issue here. For 1 turn and increase the turn meter of all allies by 15%. So this is where I've got a bit of an issue. So we've got this ultimate and it's 1150. And the way you need to read this, unfortunately, is for 1150, increase your turn meter of allies by 15%. And I'm going to say that is not an ultimate I think a rare should have on its own. That is just something you see. Look, we've already got 10% gain on the core, and you're giving me an extra 5% here. The gimmick is obviously Asgard, right? If we have Asgard heroes, we're able to place stalwart on them. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I just think you should place stalwart on all allies for 1 turn, do all of this, and maybe if you're an Asgard unit, you get it for 2 turns, right? Because at the moment, I get the vision for the hero, but there's no actual benefit for the ultimate on your team. There just really isn't, and there's no reason to run this. At the moment, the only thing I really like about this hero is the block debuffs. We might actually need early access to this against certain dungeon bosses that we've seen, and it's good to have. It's good to see that I can get this without an epic or a legendary hero again, right? Whenever an ally does block debuff activates, you increase the turn meter too. So again, it's actually not a bad little combo here. I like the basic, I like the core, and the passive. This is actually not too shabby. She's basically speeding up your team very fast with the speed up and then the turn meter increase. But then anytime you get this block debuff on, which you're going to be using, well, guess what? We're getting that turn meter increase again. So I do like that. You get different when placing buffs, which is fair play, which I expect, but I'm not too sold on the ultimate. I'm going to give it, honestly, if I'm going to give this hero a rating, I'm going to give it maybe like a 6 out of 10 or something, which isn't too bad at all. Solid, maybe 5 out of 10 to be a bit more, you know, slam in the middle. It's just, this ultimate feels like it's too restrictive. And I get the vision, but I just don't think it's been executed right, unfortunately for ASGARD, right? So now is my waifu. It's Lagertha. Let's go, girl. She is a defender, which I like. The warrior queen, the literal shield maiden queen herself. Love it. And the wife of Ragnar Lothbrok, as people will know, fought alongside Ragnar as well. Love this. And if you guys ever watched the Vikings series, watch the Viking series, guys. It's so good and actually gives you a bit more appreciation, I think, for the Vikings, man. They're so fucking, it's so good. It's sick. I'm sorry. Right, stay on track. Basic. Already, I like this. Attacks one enemy, 20% chance to place stun. I know it's 20% chance. It's only 1 in 5. It's not massive. But again, you're gonna need stuns to maybe brute force through certain waves. If I just keep repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating, eventually I'm gonna get the stun off where I need it. And that's fine. I don't mind grinding like that. And you guys shouldn't mind grinding like that too. Why? Because in Godforge, you got to remember, one of the key philosophies on energy systems in this game is you don't lose energy if you fail. Thumbs up. We can just keep going and going and going until we complete it. And guess what? That is just a trial and error phase. And if we can keep going and going and going and going, this type of skill is really good. And again, if we need a stun in a 3-star level later on, Lagertha's got it for us already in that basic, which is amazing. I like that. I like that a lot, dude. So Core places a shield, 150% defense on all allies. This is what I'm talking about. I love this. This is how I expect the skills to be. If Ragnar Lothbrok, hell yeah, is on the same team, you place intercept on him. Makes sense. She doesn't want her king to take the damage. She's going to take the hit. I'm just saying, Ragnar probably wouldn't allow that. He'd just throw her and be like, what you doing? I can defend myself, girl, don't worry. But she would do that. I like this. Absolutely amazing little skill. And Battle Maiden. Whoever designed this name, give him a pay rise just for that alone. Attacks 1, 250% defense, 150% attack. Okay, 75% chance to place taunt on the target for 1 turn. Yeah, I like this. So for the reason for taunt's good, and obviously I didn't need to tell you what stun does, as you guys have guessed. Stun is heroes miss a turn, right? Taunt, though, is quite clever. Forces this hero to attack the enemy that plays taunt using their basic ability, but it's 25% damage reduced. So if I taunt someone and it's an important target, they're going to be hitting the Lagertha, 25% damage reduction on them. Really freaking good. And I'm able to shield to take some of that hit too, which is nice. And even crazier, I could try and stun that target after as well. So she actually isn't too shabby at locking down a target. 1300 on the ultimate isn't too bad. When you get hit by an enemy, which is okay if you can get a weapon to force the taunt on, which you can do, I believe, and get an additional 40 when intercept an attack, which is basically if you've got the Ragnar in there, right? When an ally's shield is removed or depleted, you have a 50% chance to place intercept on them as well. Okay, so you get that as well. That's a lot better. Okay, that's a lot better than the Divinity Generator gives credit for. So yeah, I like this hero. She's not insane at all, but very solid. Better than ASGARD already. And this is what I was expecting, like, on an ASGARD, where if she's going to do something, she does something like this. And then if your ASGARD is on the same team, or Asgardians are on the team, they get something bonus related. And maybe the devs can look back at this and maybe readjust her for it. And obviously I'll be giving feedback as well on there. So not too shabby for our first Shield Maiden, Lauren Lagerfeld. Hell yeah, can't wait to see her in game and pull her myself in game. So now it's Ragnar. Please be on Ragnar Lothbrok. Let's be going on. Yeah, hell yeah. So let's see what Ragnar does. Attacks one enemy, and let me just say, he is a brawler, so he's HP based generally. Attacks one enemy 3 times, so we've got a multi-hit, nice. Each hit has a 15% chance to place Blunt 1. So Blunt 1 is a big one, right? This is going to reduce the strong hit chance and strong hit damage by 15%, and it might not sound like much, but you got to remember there is these affinities in game, right? And if you're going against a team that literally counter you, if you can just somehow reduce their chance and their damage at the same time, you're going to take that every single day of the week. It's for 2 turns as well. So it's not even like you're getting a 1-turn debuff here. It's for 2 turns. And you're getting, what, 3 opportunities of 15% chance. So yeah, it's a 1 in, it's not a 1 in 10, it's like a 1 in like 8.59 or something like that. It's okay. It's okay. If Lagerfield's on the same team, she joins the attack. So I like that too, and get that little bit of synergy. You might be able to stun the target and put Blunt 2 down on him. And that makes kind of sense now why it's for 2 turns, because if you stun him for 1 turn with a Lagerfeld, the Blunt's kind of useless, so you might as not have put the Blunt on them. So that's why they put 2 turns. I get it now. That makes sense. Okay. And the core attacks all enemies with 75% chance to place defense down 1 for 2 turns. Great skill. Can't even complain. AoE with a defense down 1 to help your team blow through. You could have a Ragnar out there with that Ramses, with that Guan Yu in your starter teams, right? Or whatever your Godforge legendary Slayer might have been if you've picked one, like a Wukong. Let's just imagine we just defense down 1 everyone and Wukong just swoops in and blows them up. Love it. Attacks 1 enemy, 6% HP, 9% attack 2 times. Each hit destroys the attack. Wow, the max HP for 5%, damage inflicted to 25% of the target's maximum HP. If this hero's HP goes below 50% on the Awakening 5, you also heal for 20% of the damage inflicted on the ultimate. Now, this is interesting. This is one of the first, from my memory, in the rare department that can actually destroy target's max HP. And again, you could use this in boss floors when you're going through campaign, not the dungeon bosses, but campaign boss floors. This would be really easy to like blast through. You could try it on dungeons too, but I don't know how effective it's going to be in there, because it's only 25%. You'd rather try and get, you know, that 30-50% if you can. It makes a massive difference compared to only a quarter of the health being taken off. But it's still early access to it, and you never know. We might need this in the game. We've seen how good MrSneakyy already went from like an okay hero, and we saw how important destroying max HP is. She just became a massively popular hero overnight, and she got a buff which allows her to burst heal 2 on command. She's a really freaking good hero, right? So this might be just one of those rares that we need to keep an eye out for this mechanic alone. He's got a really solid kit, and when he goes below 50%, he plays a 15% HP. Not too shabby. Obviously, you can put this imprint, and it's 25%. It's not too bad. 15% crit damage though on all battles. Holy smokes! If you want to hit hard, he's got it. Ragnar Lothbrok, how do I feel about it, brother? Well, I'm gonna say it. I do find it criminal my boy is in the res. I'm just saying, I know he's a mortal human, but he's Ragnar Lothbrok, dude. Like, this man should be epic. No, he shouldn't. He should be fucking legendary, dude. He is, like, so legendary, it's insanity, right? But I understand they want to make mere mortals, and these heroes and gods absolutely trounced them. I get it, I get it, but it's Ragnar, bro. My man just did everything. He was a farmer, dude. He was a farmer. If this is Farmer Lothbrok, I take everything back. But it's not. It looks like Lothbrok in his prime. So I want prime. I want epic. Give me an epic Lothbrok. Update him, guys. Please. He's so good. Right, getting back into the game. Right, we're on Cirrus here, and she is a Slayer. Wisdom hero for our team. And ooh, I like what I see already on screen. Attacks one enemy 310%. If the enemy is not defeated, you decrease the target divinity by 10%, which means you're slowing down their ultimate, which is great. But if you do kill the target, we increase our own divinity by 10%. So we get to our ultimate even sooner. When we go to the core, we attack all enemies with a 75% chance to place Hex 1. And this is really cool because it's early access to a really powerful little mechanic here, right? So what it says is allies receive 5% damage inflicted to this hero, which doesn't sound like much, but you got to remember, if you hit really hard on one unit, that really hard damage literally just shrapnel blasts everyone out. Like, imagine you drop the nuclear bomb on that unit, the fallout and the radiation is gonna probably kill, if not, it's gonna tickle everyone else down, right? And it's just that a bit of chip damage, really good, just allows you to push through content. Honestly, I didn't appreciate Hex as much as I should have in the alpha. I'm gonna be honest, when I start to use it and see why Sage absolutely loves like Shinigami from that alpha stages, you can see why, man. These type of mechanics are so good, especially just to get through pushing down a campaign. So really important to have this early on a rare hero too, since you might need it, as I kind of said, as a 3-star mechanic, which is cool. Core though, Awakening. If all enemies receive Hex 1, you gain an extra turn. So you're telling me I can potentially full team Hex into this? Yo, that seems pretty good. Place either sharp 1, accuracy up 1 on this hero for 1 turn. So we all should know what accuracy is going to do. It's going to increase your accuracy stat. But for sharpen, this is something that you guys could probably not guess, right? But it's going to increase your strong hit chance and strong hit damage by 15%. So this is the counter to blunt. So we saw blunt earlier on. This is sharpen. Not too shabby at all. This is going to allow you then to attack all enemies for 200% afterwards as well. So you get all of these buffs. Hopefully, strong hit and deal a bunch of damage. And again, if they got Hex on them, you're going to get a massive payoff with that. But the passive says has a 20% chance to gain an extra turn when you strong hit too. That seems okay, man. Like, do you know what? That passive is literally the common heroes baked into it with a little bit of a harder, you know, a bit of a harder requirement. How do I feel about that? I don't mind it. Especially because we give ourselves sharpen and accuracy up 1. And if you keep building for a strong hit build, we should be able to try and abuse clairvoyance. Because imagine the Disneyland. Come with me. We're going on the Disneyland roller coaster, guys. We press our core ability, Hex 1. We hit every single person. We get an extra turn. We then basic an enemy. It's strong hits. We hit the 20% chance, and then we get an extra turn. That already is 2 turns, and we get 100 divinity when we gain an extra turn. So we've already got 2 turns covered, and we could then basic again potentially, and who knows, roll the dice. And if we've done that, we might be able to even core again, and then go into, oh bro, this could be a never-ending cycle. Let's see if we can break Cirrus on launch. If we can do as many extra turns as possible through this core and strong hit mechanic, even though it's 20%, I'm going to roll the odds. And if I'm a gambling man, I'm going to be honest, I'm a gambling man. And if I can roll those dice and I'm hitting 5, 5, 5, 5, bro, I'm losing my shit. I'm going crazy. So Cirrus actually looks pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie, she does look pretty darn good. Good multiplier. Good, okay multiplier, but really good skill. And another, like, AoE, like, double AoE in the kit. Yeah, she's all right. Definitely solid. Can't wait to try her out, especially with some of the kits, some of the imprints that we're going to be able to put on. I wonder how much damage you can put out with this hero. Now, first rare Eternal. This is going to be interesting. This is Sigurd. So, attacks one enemy, 70% HP, and then places a barrier equal to 5% of the damage inflicted. But if you got a Brynhild on the team, you also place a barrier onto Brynhild too. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like the little link up. It makes sense because of the law. Attacks one enemy on the core, 10% HP, then places initiative up 1 on this hero for 1 turn. Okay. If Brynhild is on the team though, you also place initiative up on 1. Will always strong hit against bosses though. Now that's something, isn't it? Because that means then you could get a decent build with a bit of crit on here, good amount of HP, and you could potentially just do some decent damage. Not all the time, right? But you could definitely do some decent damage. And especially if you're building for that damage, you're going to be placing that barrier on yourself, and if you have the Brynhild in there, you're going to be also placing it on her. That's going to allow her to potentially just survive easier, get that defense down on him. I think it's defense down or attack down, I forgot from memory. We'll see her in a second anyway. But she also places Radiance too, which is very important. I like this. Okay. Ultimate attacks one enemy, 12%. Fix 20% increased damage to bosses again. It's like a little mini Beowulf here. If the target is defeated, decrease the damage on this hero by 10%. It stacks up to 3 times. Oh, okay. When this hero's attacked, you heal foot. I like the imprint, and I like that. Passive has a 50% chance to counterattack when this hero attacked with a weak hit on the Awakening. So, very interesting because he's Eternal, so you are going to potentially weak hit against him quite often. But the fact that you can get a strong hit on bosses on the ultimate is, well, on the core, and then get an increased damage on the ultimate is like a little mini version of Beowulf being able to just absolutely shred bosses, which isn't actually a bad option. And the fact that you get this baked in heal for 30% of the damage inflicted does help. It actually helps quite a lot. I can actually see Sigurd being pretty good as a barrier player, as a brawler. It definitely looks pretty good as a brawler. I'm trying to think who I'd want him with, though. Obviously, you want Brynhild on the team. But do you need Brynhild on the team? That's the real... Do you need Brynhild, though? Is he good without her? Because I feel like he is. If you have the Brynhild, you just get an extra initiative on her, sure. And then you get the extra bar on her, like, sure. Like, he's good on his own, right? Especially if you get some joint attacks going. Imagine you get some joint attacks in there, and he's able just to keep barrier yourself, him up, and then you take some damage, and then you heal, and then you get the barrier back up, and then, like, you can shield, and then your invoker on the team heals him. The sustain must be actually quite nasty. Now I'm speaking out loud. Like I'm actually talking myself into it, I think. I really like him, actually. The imprint's really good. Why I like the imprint, it's a 15% heal on the damage that you take, right? So when this hero is attacked, no matter what, 15% heal on your team, on yourself, right? Early on, if you get a bunch of Sigurds, potentially, just a bunch of them, let's just say, argument's sake, this imprint, it just allowed you to put it on anything, and it's just sustain, because you do need sustain in the game, and it might be very difficult for you to find it early on until you clear some of the armor dungeons, like the Batar dungeon that we've spoken to Dirk and Susie about, and they both confirmed that's where the recovery, the lifesteal, like the regeneration and sustain gear is all in. So until you get there, these type of imprints are actually quite important for your teams. I don't mind that actually for Sigurd. Pretty darn good. And then we get to the second, and we already know how good she is, unless she's been changed. Our girl Scotty. Fuck me, she's so good, guys. Sorry about my language, but Jesus fucking Christ. She's so good. How good is she? Alpha Wave 1, I used her in my team and completed all waves because of her. In Alpha Wave 2, I used her in my team again and was able to clear every single floor because of her. The thing is, in Alpha Wave 3, I didn't use her because I had Mordred, and I did try him over her, and it was just as good, if not better. But this girl is the queen of CC, but they have nerfed her. Why? How have they done this, Sneaky? What we're talking about? Well, let me explain. Tax one enemy 2 times, 15% chance to place freeze on a target for 1 turn. It's still the same, basically. It's good enough. You'll be surprised. With enough accuracy on this hero, the basic does go to nearly like a 50 to 60% uptime. It's kind of nasty how good you can get this in, especially with joint attacks. As soon as you get any joint attack mechanic in the team, holy fucking smokes, this skill goes absolutely crazy for yourself. But the nerf actually came in the frozen arrows. People will know this if you played her, and I'll remind you, because I remember this from my memory. It's what made her so fucking good. Tax 3 random enemies, which is the same. Each hit has a 40% chance to place freeze on each target for 1 turn. That is the same. What's missing? Well, that's what's been nerfed. The thing is with frozen arrows, it did have an awakening on it. And as we've been noticing, as many of you guys noticed too with the hero index when it got launched, that rare heroes only have 1 awakening ability now instead of 2 or 3. Like in the alpha process when they were testing and showcasing a bunch of different stuff, you can see that these only have 1. And this is massive because one of the awakenings, and it's the awakening for the frozen arrows, it was the awakening 3, I remember it from Alpha Wave 1, 2, and 3. It stated that every time you used your core ability and you landed a freeze on the target, you increase the accuracy of that skill, which basically allowed you all the time, literally, to just press it once, probably get 2 people frozen, and next time you used it, it pretty much guaranteed a full, almost full team freeze, and it is huge. Why? Because freeze is one of the nastiest disables in the game. Your incoming turn meter effects are reduced by 50%, but you also miss your next turn. This does not disappear, by the way. This is an absolute brutal bit of CC that you can put on par with stun, on par with despair, on par with confuse, and even petrify. They're insanely strong being able to lock down units, right? So unfortunate that she's been nerfed, but she's still going to be good. I can see, I feel like she's still going to be fine for what we need her, which is those waves on campaign where you're stuck, your damage isn't enough anymore, because that's what happened in Alpha Wave 3. If you never completed it, it's because you got stuck at 140 and didn't change your team. Your team needed to adapt. You needed a little bit of crowd control. If it was a Skadi, a Mordred, an Odin, it didn't matter. Just someone in there, even Percival, to just freeze, stun, lock down targets. So really good hero still for anyone, I think. The ultimate is the same, it seems. Attacks all enemy, which is right. You have a speed down 1 with an 85% chance, which is completely correct. And at the same time, if you have that freeze on from any of these 2 skills, you place a speed down 2 instead for 2 turns. Everything is right. She is exactly the same on the ultimate, and even this passive is the same with the correct passive awakening too, which allows her honestly to get this ultimate very, very fast through the basic and core combination. You'll be surprised how quick this comes up. So upsetting. Our queen got nerfed. She is absolutely insane. However, I still think she's very fucking good. I think she's very freaking good still. I would still put her in my team, even with the restrictions they've put on her now and removing that really good consistency that she has on the team. Hey, you've got to do something, because that Alpha Wave 3 was absolutely bonkers with her. Ulthenheadna, a Slayer, and this is going to be someone I've never seen before. So let's see. Basic attacks one enemy 200%. Strong and critical hits though, destroy 3% of the target's maximum HP, and also has a 20% chance to additionally critical hit. Okay, so I have a 20% chance to crit. If I crit, I destroy your maximum HP. This is similar to another hero now that we've seen earlier on, which is Aslag. No, not Aslag. What am I on about? Who was the destroy HP guy? Was it this one? Oh no, I can't remember. The destroy HP. Give me the destroy HP. Oh no. I bet it's someone we've literally just seen too, dude. You know what? We're not gonna hang up on it. We're not gonna hang up on it. But another destroy max HP, and it's on the basic, which is pretty okay. And it's the fact that you get 20% crit, right? So that means your gear, you can build him 80% crit. You're gonna get the 20% from this. This always guarantees then to destroy max HP. Is it worth it though? I don't know. Core. Attack one enemy 3 times. Okay. The first attack has a chance to apply defense down 1 on the target for 2 turns. If the enemy is under a defense down, attacks have a 20% chance to critical hit. Okay, so definitely works together. Wants to be crit, wants to deal damage. It attacks all enemy 2 times. Ignores shield and barrier. That's good. That ultimate's good on its own. Also has a 20% chance additional to... Okay. We literally need to build... Wait, critical hits against the same inflicts 20% increase. Okay, right. So, we definitely want 80% crit. Meaning we can be a bit more greedy with our stats. We can get a bit more attacking. We can get a bit more speeding. Because we're also getting... We're always getting a 20% chance to crit. And the thing is, this is a 50-50 coin flip 3 times. Literally. So if you lost 3 coin flips in a row, you're the unluckiest guy in the world. Honestly, you really are. But if you hit it on the first one, you're the luckiest guy in the world, because you win the coin flip on 1. Now, because he's got the defense down 1, you get that 100% crit. So that means, again, this is going to do... It seems fun. It seems fun. But I don't know if it's going to be, like, enough, though. Do you get what I'm saying? His ultimate's warband, that might mean something here. Oh, you can see it's something here. Maybe his critical hits heal him, too. Maybe something like that. But apart from that, I'll be honest, I can find better damage dealers. And the thing is, you do start off with 3 starter DPS, and I think I would take a Lady Shock or a Guan Yu or a Ramses over this guy because of that. But this is interesting because it's target destroying max HP. Doesn't have a limit. Doesn't have a limit, which is kind of interesting. Maybe they just forgot it. It is what it is. But the ultimate also ignores shield and barrier, which is going to be key probably in certain areas because it's 2x2, so you should be able to really nuke through. So you might need him in certain like heavy against heavy shield defense teams because you can burst through early game with this rare hero. But apart from that, I think there's other rare heroes in the game that just offer you like better sustain, better utility, and just overall probably better damage output than this guy, unfortunately. But he does seem really cool. I can't wait to test him out. I would love to be proven wrong here and he becomes an absolute monster. But holy smokes, I'm just saying, we've seen every single rare hero now in the faction. This is one of the first times a faction has been fully completed. So fuck yeah, dude. I can't wait to see what all the others are saying. Now, we've got a Vida. Attacks one enemy, 8% HP, 120% attack, and you heal for 10% of the damage inflicted. Okay. If there are no living enemies, allies, you attack all enemies instead. So if you are literally the last man standing, you're in the gulag and you're facing death in the face, we can go balls to the wall. That's kind of cool. I like that. I like the flavor. I like the flavor of it. Attacks one enemy. Nice. Increase this HP attack 5%. Okay. So this is actually no, I do like this, but at the same time I don't. Because I want this guy to attack more. So if I can get like an intercept, not an intercept, but a retaliation onto this hero. So just for the newbies, the retaliation proc says when this enemy is attacked, you retaliate with their basic ability. If I can put retaliate on him through gear or through a weapon, that will be huge. Because if he's the only one alive, and he's AoE hitting everyone, and you're healing for 10% of the damage inflicted, you're probably out-sustaining the amount of damage that you're intaking, right? Because you're going to be able to hit all 4 enemies, nuke them down, regain all of the HP, they take a bit of damage, when you do it again. And the thing is, what's crazy is with Retaliate being up, you can trigger out of turn. So if they go 1, 2, and on the 2 you retaliate, you probably negated the first 2 instances of damage as well. So it could be something super, super fun to play around with. I would love to try this out. This seems like a really fun hero, I'm going to be honest. The victory from defeat says attack one enemy, but if there's no living allies, you increase the damage inflicted by 50%. So you just fucking just bang someone. Okay. Passive increases heroes max HP 10% for each. Oh, it is, man. Like, he is all about let me just solo carry. Let everyone die and let me. Do you know what, guys? I don't think he's gonna be insane, but he seems super fun. He seems super fun like the Seerus, and he seems super fun like the Berserker, where if you do build this guy, or like a team around this guy, right, you could be doing something really funky. Like, imagine you give him a bunch of buffs, right, and then, like, he just has Retaliate, and just doesn't. It just seems really funny, bro. Like, and he's a rare hero. The Silent Avenger, what a name. Yeah. I'm not going to complain. Actually, one of the more fun heroes I've seen out of all of them. So, really interesting, as you can see there. A lot of rares, all of the rares to be exact, all displayed in the ASGARD, which is quite interesting because some of the other factions we've not seen them. So, let me know what you think already to the rare heroes. Would love to hear your inputs now. Got the epics, we got the legendaries to go, and I'm going to try and go a little bit faster here. I do apologize to you guys. I know it's going to be a long video, but look. That was a trip. So epic is going to be Beowulf, and we know how good Beowulf already is from the alpha, and I did use him quite a lot in here. He's a fantastic fucking hero, guys. Honestly, basic ability attacks one enemy, but if you target a brawler or a boss, you increase the attack by 5%. This goes up to 15%, so you get to steroid yourself. Just wait. Core attacks one enemy again, 300% attack. But if it's a brawler or a boss again, you decrease their attack by 5%, which is just nasty. This will always strong hit on Awaken 3. So this does a lot of damage. Now, to finish off the cake, attack one enemy. If targets a brawler or boss, you'll see a common theme here. Increase this hero's critical damage by 10%. This goes all the way up to 30%. And I'm going to tell you guys, this imprint, the Giant Slayer, for 10% increased damage, is fucking great on any weapon that you put it on for DPS. It just is. But when you have a 20% one, and then his passive says, strong hits inflict an additional 1% enemy max damage, and if the target is a brawler or boss, this bonus is doubled. I don't think you realize the amount of steroids he is. This guy, literally, as you can see, Grendel's Doom, he is designed to kill Grendels. He is designed to kill brawlers. He is designed to kill bosses. He is all about making it himself go even further in long fights. And the cool thing is, you can make it go even quicker. If you get joint attacks in, you get the attack up even faster. Soon as we get the attack up, guess what? We're getting more damage through strong hits, because we're most likely strong hitting with this hero, which you normally do. And guess what? Boom, 50. But one thing that has been interesting with our boy, 25% critical damage, Pantheon boss battles. That is the very first I have ever seen with a leader bonus specifically for Pantheon boss. I'm just saying. Maybe since I've done these videos, there's been updates to kits, and I'm not going to check them out until we've seen every single one. But you can see this is one of the first that I have reacted to and having in. And because he's a boss slayer, and you can see the boss slayer, and he's even wanting you to use him as a leader bonus in the Pantheon boss, it should be black and white why he's a good hero. He is the dungeon boss slayers. He's just one of the go-to nukers in the epic category. And yes, there is other good and better DPS in epic and legendary, but bro, the fact that you're able to build this guy with absolute, look at these stats, by the way, absolute insane stats, right? Build him as greedy as you want, and then get even more stats on your critical damage. That's 90% critical damage, by the way, with just these two, not factoring your gear. Bruh. 15% on top. That's another what? 120 something? Bruh. It's a lot. It adds up, especially when you're on like 10k attack, 15k attack. Like, you do some ridiculous numbers, bruh. Beowulf, absolute beast. He is a beast slayer. It's just like Brynhild, absolute beast of a defender. If people didn't know how this hero works, it's quite interesting. Attack down 2 for 2 turns on that basic ability. It's a 50% chance, but guess what? It needs to be, because when it lands, oh boy, is that good. It's a 40% decrease on the stat, because these are the buffs, and buffs are literally the opposites of the debuffs. So if you look up, you'll see attack down is 40%, 2 turns. You get a defense up 2, which is a 40% buff on all allies, plus intercept. But it's when you get the core and you have intercept on all allies, bro, that is just nasty. It just allows you just to literally just be unkillable. It's just disgusting. On top of this, though, Ring of the Flames, this is the same skill still. Removes all disables from this hero, then places Radiance 2 on all allies for 2 turns. So really good little skill. This is reducing and reflecting 20% of the damage back to the attackers. It's one of the best ways of actually damage mitigating, because it's an offensive and defensive skill all baked into one. Can be well used while under the disable. This is why you can remove the the disable off the hero. But what makes it a really good skill is when you awaken free Brynhild, because when you awaken free Brynhild, she places a shield of 50% HP on all allies. So now you're able to place a shield and place a defense up 2 on themselves and on everyone and get that insanity value of that shield and just soaking up damage with even damage reduction now because of the defense up 2, as you guessed it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Passive is when this HP below 50%, place a 20% HP shield on them. It's a 10%. Again, imprint really freaking good. I like the imprint on many just generic weapons. You could use the imprint just as a filler until you find that best in slot imprint, and I like that about her. Fantastic fucking hero in the game, I'm gonna be honest. You'll be surprised when it says hit by an enemy. Yes, it's easy, we've got intercept. I'm just saying that out now. All battles 20%. Now this is good and crazy for, I'm gonna say it, a certain group. If you picked Athena, you should have a better one. But these type of leader bonuses are baked for Athena teams. So this is like an Athena Brynhild with a Shishi and someone else, right? This is a full almost defender team that's going to use joint attacks with defenders, abuse the Shishi combo and everyone's basics to really knuckle down on someone. And this is giving you, yes, 20% more defense, but as a defender, you scale your damage that way. So imagine if you're technically reducing damage and scaling it for the entire team. Actually a really good thing. Honestly, Brynhild, I said it from Alpha Wave 1 and people ignored me, didn't listen, and just was like, yeah, whatever about Brynhild. Alpha Wave 2 came, people started using Brynhild, and brother, they all agreed. And by Alpha Wave 3, minus the bug, minus the broken shit she was able to do, she was hands down #1 epic defender in Alpha. She was almost a legendary tier defender. That's how fucking good she is. And when you get your hands on her, I'm telling you, you will see it too. So now we've got 2 of Odin's little hounds. We got Freaky and Gary, or Freaky and Gary, should I say. So let's go down. It's the first of the video, and you can't be mad. You can't be mad, guys. We've just done what, nearly 57 minutes of recording of pure and analysis on all of these kits, and this is the first one we don't get to see. But guess what? It doesn't look too bad. Wounding Rend could be a bleeding effect. We got Chill of the Hunt, maybe a fear. Sharp Fangs, maybe some sort of sharpening on themselves, and no clue what Ravenous Instinct does. So we have no clue what this hero does, unfortunately, but we like to have a little bit of a guessing game on the channel. It is a brawler too, so we'll have to see. Maybe it does. Gary though, same, unfortunately, guys. We've got Precision Prowl, so maybe able to place precision on self. Feral Aegis, being able to maybe shield as well. Guardian Howl seems defensive as well, and then Pack of the Bulwark. And I'm assuming with these two, if you have Gary and Freaky on the same team, they're going to be able to combo together, I am assuming. And it would be really cool if they have an additional one with Odin. So if you have Odin with his hounds, they go even crazier. I'd love that, just for flavor, So unfortunately, guys, 2 we can't see there, but can't wait to see the 2 Doges in game, the 2 good old doggos. Can't wait. But we do have another doggo that we know you can see. I don't want to spoil him, but he is going to be epic. Now we've got Ran, and holy shit, the C-net is absolutely sick. I'm going to be honest. Absolutely sick hero. Basic, tack 1. 35% chance to lock ultimate for 2 turns. That on its own is an insane skill. Just stopping someone from casting their divinity You might think, yes, it's only a 35% chance. It's a 1 in 3. Bro, 1 in 3's happen quite a lot, honestly. And the thing is, even if you skip, for example, let's just say we basic and we didn't hit the lock ultimate turn 1. Oh no. Oh no, we've not done it, right? But the enemy need to build up their ultimate. They need to get the divinity to get to their ultimate. So you're probably going to get a second round of doing this. And you're probably going to fucking hit it, I'm telling you. And the times that you're going to hit it when you need to, I'm telling you, you're going to feel this basic going off. And if you get any joint attack in here, being able to consistently lock down ultimates, people are going to get really upset with you because you're going to be like controlling them down indirectly and not letting them play with their heroes, and I know people are going to get tilted by that. The core is attacks all enemies with a 75% chance to place a speed down 2 on each target for 2 turns, and if an enemy is under a speed down after attacking, guess what? You'll activate Cold Depths on the target, which is your passive, which is attacks decrease 10% of the target's turn meter, so that's what it's going to do. But if the target is below 50%, you steal 10% turn meter instead of all allies by that same amount. Allies can only gain turn meter once per attack. Holy shit. So wait. Whoa. Hold up. So if I AoE them, and they're slower now, right? The speed down 2, which is a 20% reduction in stats, if I remember off the top of my head. Let me just get the speed. Yeah, 20%, right? So they most likely lost their turn orders. My team's going to go first. But if they already had a speed down 2, so if I'm able to reduce the core ability down, or someone else in my team places a speed down 2 onto that target, I'm able to steal 10% of their target meter and then put that on all of my allies. Why do I feel like that's really freaking good? Just this combo alone. Just these two. Like, whoa. Ultimate attacks all enemy 220% and has a 50% chance to place freeze on each target for 1 turn. And if the enemy is below 50%, the freeze you can't resist. Holy shit. And if the freeze is not placed, you place an initiative down 2 of a target for 2 turns. So that means you just slow their divinity down. But on Awakening 3, you place freeze for 2 turns instead. Okay, so 50% chance for a 2-turn freeze, which is just disgusting. And if you miss the freeze, you get a 2-turn slowdown on their initiative. So it's a slowdown on their divinity gain, because initiative is reducing that divinity gain. I do apologize. That seems really good. And you get this by just placing debuffs and disables, which is literally all you're doing in your kit. Oh, that seems really... She seems really good. She actually seems really... she seems better than I think people are understanding. The fact that you can lock down an ultimate means you can save yourself from really important boss wave turns in campaign. This won't work on bosses like the dungeon boss or the Pantheon boss. This should probably, have something else for that, instance, is what it is. But the core seems really good. It's an AoE speed down 2, which is huge for 2 turns. But you also have the ability from this to even have that decrease in turn meter and potentially steal their turn if they're below 50%. Honestly, really freaking good. Really freaking good. Yeah. No. I like that. Imprint attacks decrease 5% target's turn meter. Oh my god. And if the target is below 50%, yeah, bro, even the imprint, it's nothing insane. It's not 10% like hers. But again, kind of like Brynhild, kind of like a lot of the other imprints, it's one of those ones that you can confidently put onto even like a multi-hitter, right, or a multi-attacker. And if you're able to do this multiple times, you're gonna get so much benefit out of it, and it's just a good filler imprint until we get something that we really do desire on them. So Ran and Epic, not looking too shabby at all. Absolutely looks pretty killer out there. I want to see how she performs, especially if I can pull her. But now we're coming to the last hero, Forkle. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we've seen this hero in the arena. Susie is using this hero at the moment. And he is insane. Honestly, absolutely insane. His damage output is bonkers. You're going to understand why, I think, from the passive. So the passive says, this hero gains effects depending on stacks of bleed on your team. On the enemy team, shall I say. So if you've got a Lady Shock start, if you've picked Dracula or whoever to place bleed, this is who you're going for as your payoff. I am telling you now. At 5 stacks, you increase your damage by 20%. At 10 stacks, your attacks steal 10% turn meter. And then at 20 stacks, we get a 30% damage reduction. Ooh, boys, are we cooking or what? And then the Awakening 5 also says, at 20 stacks, you also inflict an additional 200% attack to all enemies under bleed, which can't crit. This is what Forkle did in the arena. So if you guys didn't see her team was so clever. I loved it. She was able to press the core ability first, which places a sharpened 2 on your target, which allows you to get a bit more strong hit chance and strong hit damage. You hit a little bit harder, right? But you attack all enemies with an 80% chance to place 2 stacks of bleed on that target, on each target, right? That's 2 stacks already. Ultimate attacks all enemies again for 3 times. Each hit has an 80% chance to place 1 stack of bleed on the target. So already basically that's 5 stacks of bleed you're able to place just on his hero alone with just 2 combinations. If the target's more than 5 stacks of bleed, you also hero for 20% of the damage inflicted, and you convert any overhealing into a barrier with your Awakening 3. Absolutely insane. Just crazy. I'm like, why, this is a bleed payoff, I'm telling you. Attacks 1 enemy 2 times, and each hit has a 50% chance to place 2 stacks of bleed, 1 stack of bleeds. It's 2 stacks at max, right? So just think, his kit can place literally 5, 7, 9 stacks of bleed on his own, and then you've got a Lady Shock that can place like 1 or 2 stacks too, or an Achilles that can place like 3 or 6 stacks instantly. It feels it's that insane, right? He is instantly gonna hit the 10 within 1 turn, and on the second turn, holy smokes, if he hits that 20, you best be hoping he's not Awakened 5, because if he's Awakened 5, yes, he's gonna hit you like a fucking truck, and he's gonna melt your team like poor old Simon felt in the Godforge videos. And if you've not checked out the Fateless channel, check out some of the videos of him doing PvP. Holy smokes, we saw this damage deal, and it is insane. So I'm going to tell you already, any further, this is your payoff hero for epics. And the crazy thing is, and this is why I think it's even crazier, his imprint. This hero gains the stacks. It's 10% increased damage at 10 stacks, 5% turn meter steal at 10, and then at 20 stacks you get that damage reduction of 15% still. So literally this imprint feels like the best imprint in the game for bleed units. I don't care about Dracula's imprint. Why would I want to just get like 15% increased damage for 1 attack when I can have 10% increased damage permanently at 5 stacks. I can steal turn meter, and I can reduce damage I take. Bro, Dracula with this imprint would go crazy, and you guys know that would go crazy. So absolutely bonkers epic hero. Do not sleep on this guy because he's a bleed guy. You pull him, I am telling you, you're going to get through so much content. Bosses are going to fall over, waves are going to fall over. I cannot wait to get a 4-kill myself, right? So now we're at the legendaries. So smash like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I know it's been a long one. You guys know we like to take our time and just give you something to listen to, maybe while you're working away, maybe you're doing an essay right now, maybe you're playing another game to fill the void, Mr. AKA Void Hunter. I know how you guys are playing right now, right? But this is the format, this is what we like to do. So here we go, final 8 heroes. Let's see what we've got. Fenrir to kick things off, another bleed-based hero. Insane, by the way. Attacks one enemy 2 times with 180% attack. 2% of this hero's HP also heals for each stack of bleed on the target. So if they're fully stacked up on bleed, you're going to basically fully heal Fenrir through the basic, which is just dumb. If the target is under 5 or more bleed stacks, though, this cannot weak hit, meaning you are guaranteed to always normal, or strong hit against the your weakness. And that's kind of good because, again, being in the cunning fam, I believe your weakness is the strength, right? Strength, so fire beats grass. So strength beats you, and because he beats you, you have a higher weak chance against him. But now with Fenrir, he kind of just counters that and ignores that line of text, and he basically says, look, I'm always going to normal attack against anyone, which is actually a really big W in his kit. The awakening one of this, because again, legendaries get 3 awakenings, epics get 2, rares get 1. The awakening one says if the target is under 10 stacks of bleed, each hit also increases his hero's critical damage by 5%. Stacks up to 10 times, that's a 50% critical damage. Just insane. I'm going to be honest, I want focal Fenrir bleed teams. Those 2 guys with maybe 2 defenders or 1 defender, 1 invoker or 2 invokers is going to be my dream team. That thing looks absolutely mental. Being able to just increase critical damage and just bleed off each other and just keep doing what we're doing. Oh, yeah, boys and girls, that's what we want. The core attacks one enemy, 410%, 75% chance to activate 3 stacks of bleed on the target. And if the target is under 10 stacks of bleed, we get an extra turn. But with an awakening 3, the power of Fenrir is here because he activates all stacks of bleed. So just imagine now we activate all the bleed stacks, you take the henchiest amount of damage, and we're able to take that extra turn and go and stack bleed even higher. Like, I'm just saying, it is gonna be so fucking good to do this as a bleed team because, as many people know, in Alpha Wave 3, the issue bleed teams had was there wasn't really any payoff or, more importantly, damage extension for bleed teams. And what that meant was, if you ran like an Achilles or a Dracula bleed team on these bosses like Fafnir for the damage calculation, anyone would have told you how much damage you could have done because it was technically capped at this amount of damage depending on how fast you got your stacks of bleed on. If you didn't get the 10 stacks of bleed in this certain time, you was going to get this amount of damage. And that's just because the best way of dealing damage back then was leaving bleed onto the targets, never using it or consuming it. However, here we're already getting that payoff, bro. That's why I'm excited to use this. Same with Forkill. Really, really interested to use these bleed teams now. Ultimate attacks one enemy 220% 2 times. That's a lot of damage. But before attacking, you place 2 stacks of bleed on the target, which cannot be resisted if this hero has 100% crit rate, which we are definitely going to be fucking having, boys and girls. That is an understatement. That you might as well just remove that, because we're gonna have it on. Also places barrier on this hero equal to 5% of the damage inflicted. If the target is under 10 stacks of bleed, you increase this turn meter by 20% so we can get there even faster. The Awakening 5 increases damage of this hero's ultimate ability by 5%, stacks up to 100% each time this is used. Holy smokes. Get me in, coach. I'm all for this. Blood-fueled enemies under bleed have their turn meter reduction effects reduced by 100%. Oh, boy, yes. 10 out of 10. I'm not even kidding. 10 out of freaking 10. You do damage under bleed all the time. Oh my god, get me out. This is insanity. I need this here. I literally want Fenrir, Forkle. Give me these two, boys. Just give me these 2 heroes. Let me cook. Let me... Bro, imagine the Forkle imprint on the Fenrir. Bro, he's going to do so much damage. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. As you can see, ASGARD's living up to the name, doing me proud. Freya, the Invoker, and you guys should know this hero. I will go through it quickly, and I'll give you a little quick snippet, but I'm going to be honest, I do think she's really freaking good. She is kind of an all balls to the wall hero, and why I mean that is, yeah, she places Mend on the lowest ally HP, which is cool, but we equalize the one ally's turn meter equal to the enemy with the highest turn meter, and then we increase everyone's turn meter by 20%. What this is saying is you use your Fenrir, do the damage. Now it's Freya's turn. We bring our Fenrir back up to where the enemy is, and then we take over their turn again, meaning our Fenrir gets 2 turns before they have even acted. That's why it's so powerful of a skill. This is allowing you to damage extend through a complete turn on your team, and that's even better because if your team gets an extra, like your Fenrir gets an extra turn, that's a cooldown reduction, right? That's 1 turn you don't have to worry about now. We only need to wait for another 1 or 2 turns maybe, and we get to do our damage again. So really, really like this. And then as an added bonus, she gets a 20% increase in healing. This is 5%, 1 stack, stacks up to 4 times. It's just good. It means you're going to get this off multiple times, and you're going to be wanting to do this. I feel like this is a really key part of her kit. The ultimate also says place attack up 1, sharpen up 2 on all allies, attack 1 enemy, and then attack all enemies. Kind of similar to like how Zeus does it, but then you increase the attack and critical damage of each ally by 10%. This is insane. Again, for someone like Fenrir, it is crazy because you also place Phoenix on all allies below 50%, so you keep them alive. And why this is so good is because you're going to be doing so much damage with this crit. You're able to keep making your damage dealers do more damage through a turn meter. Her passive says whenever you crit, you heal. And like, I don't know what else to say. Like, this is so aggressive. She wants you 100% crit rate. Hit as hard as you can. The harder you hit, bro, we're going to heal you for 1200% of my initiative on the Freya. And I'm going to have as much initiative as I can to make sure you have this attack up steroid, which is giving you 40% extra attack, and the sharpen too, which is increasing your strong hit and your strong hit chance damage. Like, bro, what are we talking about? Like, it's so much damage. And again, you're indirectly healing your team when they deal damage. That's what's so good. You don't need to waste a turn pressing a button to heal your team. Your team is actively doing this. At Awakening 5, if an ally is at full health, inflict the heal as damage to the enemy. Like, bro, what are we talking about? 30% increase on crit damage on all battles, bro. If you picked Freya, you're in safe hands. You're going to do so much damage. I can't wait to see you guys. Same with Grendel. Absolute monster. Love this hero. He's one of my favorite heroes in the Asgardians because he's the only Zeus Remainer. You heard right. You want to play as Zeus from Alpha Wave 1, 2, and 3? Well, this is your guy. How are we going to do this? It's through basic. The Endless Rampage. Attack one enemy 2 times, 70% HP with 65% attack. However, if the target is defeated, this hero gains an extra turn. Nice and simple. So if you can get some really good gear, some even retaliation on this hero, or even joint attacks into this hero, you can guess it. You're going to be able to kill, take extra turns, and keep repeating it. And taking extra turns is always good because it means you can kill your enemy faster and they can't do anything about it. I'm all for it. The core attacks all enemies, despair for 1 turn, 75%. With the Awakening 1, it's also an initiative down 2 on anyone who already has this on them, which is pretty cool. It means if you do play some of these early rares and obviously uncommons that does have this spare in their kit that you can have early access to, you've got kind of a payoff here for the chance that you got him Awakening 1. The real reason though I do like him, even though Despair is a very fantastic disable, just so you guys know, just to remind you, prevents buffs or positive effects being placed. The duration is reduced when receiving a buff or effect, but the hero will miss their turn if none of that happens, so it's a skip turn. Why we like this hero is because of his ultimate and even his passive. It just works exactly with the basic, and that's what we want. We attack all enemies, which is okay. It does a bunch of damage. But after attacking, instantly defeats heroes below 20% max HP. Like, bro, we just fucking kill someone. But then, it obviously doesn't work on bosses. But then, increase this hero's HP 5% up to 6 times. That's a 30% increase on HP. That means you're self-scaling, just like a Hercules does. As people have seen with a scaled Hercules, guess how much damage that does? A freaking lot. And guess what? If it's a single target user, like this guy is, it hits even harder because they don't have to worry about the AoE anymore. Single targets generally hit harder because it's one target compared to a spread of damage on an AoE. And the fact that we get to scale this is just nasty for each enemy defeated, and we also increase our HP when attacking bosses. So literally, if we attack bosses, we scale HP, we get even more damage. We get more damage, we get to get more kills. If we get more kills, we take extra turns. Extra turns means you die faster and you ain't playing the game. Love it. Love it. I love Grendel, boys. Honestly, he's such a fucking badass, man. And for every 10% HP missing on his hero, 5% speed and initiative, meaning you can get to this ultimate faster because you're getting more initiative. And every time you get this ultimate off, you're increasing your HP, which means this is getting even more effective because it's easier to survive now. And you're increasing your speed, which means you can do all your turns faster. He is fantastic. Can't wait to use him. I don't know if his imprint's going to be absolutely game-breaking on other heroes or other brawlers, but we will happily test that when we get there, right? Heimdall, another absolute all-star in Alpha Wave 3. He really was. He was the Alpha Star all-star in Fafnir. The ability just to place Retaliate, intercept on all allies, and Ward was just absolutely broken. It was unmatched against Fafnir. However, he isn't unkillable. People have seen this, right? And it is one thing we have to remind people with this hero. Even though you get the intercept and the retaliate rolling on them, which is very, very powerful, you as a Heimdall, without the ultimate on, honestly take a lot of fucking damage, so be prepared. That is the only thing with him. Compared to a lot of other defenders that can honestly take a good hit, a lot of the new players' experience and just literally just general gaming experience, people loved Heimdall, but many people will tell you my Heimdall just kept dying, and that's because they wasn't really building him right, or they wasn't using him right, which is honestly kind of like a skill check. I'm not going to hate on that. I actually think skill checks are healthy in game. Like, you need to understand how this hero works to get the full kit out of them, and that is good. But what's really cool about this hero is this. I honestly think his passive is just insanity, because any buff on any ally, right, you have a 50% chance then to reflect any debuff received. So literally, if you run Isolde, boop, we put a mend on all our allies. Guess what? We have a 50% chance now to reflect debuffs. That is insane, honestly, when that happens. And when you awaken in 1, anytime this is reflected, that's when you get the heal onto your Heimdall, which does give him that a little bit of self-sustain, which he is missing when you don't have that. But absolutely cracked hero. And one last thing, just to kind of give you one more reason why he's cracked, his Awakening 5 always triggers the ultimate, and that's what makes him so powerful later on. If you could Awaken 5 your Heimdall, having this just trigger instantly, and then you can use any of these 2 abilities at your leisure, is a godsend, because then you can then build it up and use your ultimate anyway and get a double effectiveness. It really does make teams feel unkillable when he's Awakening 5. But that's an Awakening 5 hero. That is going to take you a long time to get, right? Even with the ecosystem in the game. But is it worth it? Fucking 1000% yes. And I'm just saying, this is why I'm Team ASGARD. I do love a lot of the ASGARD heroes. That's why we got the merch, right? But holy smokes, have we not got a roster? Like, we've got so many good heroes. We've got Hell coming to the game. Slayer internal, we know what she does. AoE on the core, she has an AoE on the ultimate, and the real main gimmick is the Shade ability to basically revive dead enemies and use their basic abilities in your kit. And it's really good, right? Honestly, it is really good, especially when you Awaken 3 when they're joining on that basic attack here. But the issue I have is this hero wants to place the... I feel like the Shade mechanic is the damage. And I understand it doesn't work on bosses and we get a defense down 2, which is fine. But I can find defense down 2 elsewhere. I don't need it on my DPS. And because this doesn't work on, you know, the Shade mechanic doesn't work obviously on bosses. Like, imagine you was able to, like, resurrect totems against the Hag's Hollow and just slap her with these totems. Like, I feel like that's where a lot of her kit's missing, because I do think in a boss push on campaign, when you're having to fight like a big Zeus, as people have seen, or a big Gilgamesh and stuff like that, right? She's gonna be fantastic on those ones. But against dungeon bosses, I'm not feeling it. I do think she's one of the hardest hitting heroes in the game. The fact that she brings block revive is huge. Curse is really good too. This is going to allow you to reduce the amount of healing and shielding that comes into the teams, which is very good control to bring. But she's just a massive hard hitting hero. She just hits fucking hard, boys and girls, and she's fun. And I think the Shade mechanic's going to be super fun to play against. But out of the others, I'm going to be honest, she's kind of a little bit lower. I honestly want any of these 4 heroes over her, even though she's an internal, which is a weird thing to say. And it's kind of the same with our boy Loki, right? Even though I'm going to be kind of rude here and still say I'm not a big fan of this hero, I do prefer what they've done with him. So instead of being this charm placing weird guy, he does place charm on target, which is fine on the basic, but the core now places sleep on all enemies, and this is a really powerful guaranteed sleep, meaning you got a guaranteed crowd control on the enemy. If the target resists sleeps or block or is immune, you increase the turn meter by 20%, so you get to go off a bit sooner again, which is good. And if they already have a sleep on them, you increase the duration by 1 turn. And this is where I think this is gonna be the power of Loki. I don't think Loki is going to be powerful on his own, as you've guessed it. I actually think it's when you get a sleep team. You build a team with this exact same keyword, and you want Loki to actually act at the end, because if they're all under sleep and we're increasing the duration by 1 turn, that means it's a 2-turn sleep, and that means we get to hit them for free once, and that gives us a 30% increased damage on that attack. That means then we get an increase in damage, they get to skip a turn, and then it's their turn. That feels a lot better when you're playing Loki, but I feel like you need to build a team in order to go for that. It isn't a very straightforward game plan. It's very unique in its own right, but I reckon it will work and it will be quite effective, especially in content. It'll be fine in content. And it's same the ultimate, being able to reduce, again, that with Corrupt here for 2 turns, but then we place Vanish and Backfire. And Backfire basically means if someone sends something negative to you, you throw it back to them, like you reflect it back to them, right? So overall, much better kit. Much better kit. Is it going to be enough for me to be super excited to pull? Probably not. But is it more exciting to potentially see these new sleep builds come out? 100%. I honestly think the core here is really fucking good because of this. Just this line of text alone makes it like low-key worth it. And it sounds weird, but it really does make it feel like it's worth it. Even though he does decrease, also places speed down 2, 1 sleep expires on awakening 3. He also places 50 accuracy on all battles, which is really good. I actually love Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver is the only reason I want to bring this hero into the combat. Nothing else, which is maybe something to look into again with the Trickster. Maybe being able to have a 25% chance to place sleep on the target and then vanish would be cool. That is a very Trickster thing to do, right? And it keeps in form with these 2 abilities working together a bit better. Maybe. Last 2 heroes, Odin and Ymir. Let me know what you feel about them. Odin played in Alpha Wave 2. Actually really did like this hero. This hero does confuse and charm. He basically is a really good disruptor. He tells the enemy, stop hitting yourself, literally, and he does it very effectively. The core is a attack all enemy 3 times, 440%, does the confuse at 75% chance. The second hit, though, also has a chance to place lock passive, and that is huge. Because you got to think, if you lock down a passive of like a Quetzalcoatl, you stop them from reviving their team, right? That is a massive blow to that team. And there is quite a lot of passive abilities in the game that you would love to lock offline and not worry about. The third hit has a 75% chance to increase the rank of all debuffs. That's huge. That means if you place him in any team in the game, basically, and you've got like a vulnerable 2, speed down 2, resistance down 2, initiative down 2, you name it. Any of these abilities with a 2, you have the ability to make it into a 3. And that is dirty. Like, decreasing someone's attack by 60%. Or decreasing their defense by 60% feels like an absolute crime. And the cool thing is, if Gary and Frecky are on the team, if the 2 dogs are in the team, you get a 100% turn meter, meaning it goes instantly into their team. Oh boy. Awakening 1 also, each hit also reduces the duration of all buffs on that target for 1 turn as well. Oh boys, yeah. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't think people realize how good Odin's core is. Like, it is insane what this is doing. It's making them skip a turn with Confuse because it attacks them. It locks off their passives so they can't get any benefits out of them. Chance to increase the debuff rank on all of them. and at the same time has the chance to reduce the duration of any positive buffs as well on the target. Like, what else do you want in a car? You have everything in the game. Your basic also attacks one enemy, 80% chance to decrease the target's divinity, which is great. If they're confused or charmed because of your two abilities, guess what? You have a steal 10% of their divinity, which is just fucking sick. So we get to our ultimate sooner. Ultimate attacks all enemies again. Equalize the divinity of each enemy to the enemy with the lowest divinity. Bro, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this happen, but in alpha, bruh, this felt like a criminal offense too. Just seeing someone about to get to their ultimate and then just go boom to 0% because someone just used it. Oh, yeah, man, it's good. Because you're basically punishing the enemy teams when they use their divinity. You use Ragnarok, and it is a crazy tempo swinging to your favor. Honestly, I really do like Odin. I think out of the disruptors, he's an easy 10 out of 10 for me. Like, again, in the game. Definitely worthy of the internal. Just to see the passive as well at the start of the turn. Oh, this is different. At the start of each wave, place charm on the enemy with the highest attack for 2 turns. Really good. Applies at the start of this hero's turn instead, which is really good. So it means it keeps happening. Even if you kill that target, it's going to apply it to someone else. Really, really good. So, yeah, honestly, Odin, All-Father, my All-Father, to the All-Father. He is honestly amazing. I honestly would want to pull an Odin. Out of the legendary ASGARD so far, I'm going to go probably Fenrir number 1, maybe Heimdall 2, Grendel 3, Freya 4, Odin 5. That's how I feel, honestly. But they're so close within each other. Honestly, it's so hard, man. It's so hard. I want them all. Now we get to the final one. This is Ymir. Really good hero too. Honestly, he is a eternal brawler for us. Attacks one enemy, 11% HP, 75% chance to place defense down 2 for 2 turns. Really good. If the target is under a freeze, though, you place barrier on this hero, 5% of the damage inflicted. On your core, you attack all enemies. You reduce each target's speed by 10. This stacks up to 3 times. So this is a 30 flat rate. The core says at max stacks, will place freeze on each target for 1 turn and cannot be blocked by resisted. And I know you're probably thinking, where's the freeze? Don't worry, it's on its way. The ultimate says attacks all enemies 70% HP with 80% chance to place speed down 2 on each target for 2 turns. Then attack all enemies with an 80% chance to place freeze on enemies under speed down 2 for 1 turn. So there's your freeze in here. However, you also have the passive. When this hero attacks, 50% chance to place freeze on an enemy for 1 turn. So good. And the cool thing is when you awaken free, it has a 50% chance also to place freeze if any disable or debuff is on the target. So you literally just like increase your freeze chance. He's going to lock down targets with freeze. He has payoffs for freeze. With someone like ASGARD, it's an early game little mini combo. You're going to have an absolute banging time with. But is he going to be insane? That is a good question, right? Because I was hoping for a little bit different. I'm going to be honest. I was hoping Ymir would have been a defender. And he's not. So that's caught me off guard, right? The Ultimate Awakening 5 says each time this hero places freeze, reduce the divinity cost by 10, stacks up to 30 times, that's 300. This increases the damage this inflicted by 3%. So that means it goes to a 950 ultimate cost on there. Am I actually impressed? Am I actually going to finish the video with this hero that I'm honestly... I'm not blown away by? I like the speed reduction, but I don't think it's going to be too crazy. I like the ultimate, but again, don't find it too crazy. And the basic, let's be honest, it's okay. Do you know what? Actually, I've seen it. I have seen why. I have seen it. It's the numbers. 11%, 10%, 10%. 7 here is okay, but it's the numbers. I bet you it's this what makes him actually relevant. The damage he's outputting is going to be quite sky high because of the HP being there. But overall, I feel like he'll be okay. I don't feel like you're gonna get attacked. That's the issue. It says when this hero is attacked, like you kind of want to put some sort of intercept onto him or taunt onto him so he can force people to attack him, and when they get attacked they freeze, and because they get freezed he gets all of this benefit. But that feels like a defender style. It doesn't feel like a brawler style. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end the video on something that's gonna shock you all, but I'm not impressed by Ymir. Maybe to me they might have missed the mark on this hero. And to me, it feels like if you're going to want to get attacked, at least give me an actual decent way of forcing them to attack me, right? Because if you force someone to attack this Ymir constantly, this passive alone is so good. And like the imprint is actually fantastic. Like if we ignored the hero and we were just talking about imprints, bro, this imprint is insane. If you're telling me I can put an imprint on any of my defenders that have taunt or retaliate or intercept onto them and forces people to make them to attack me, bro, and I can freeze them 25% of the time, I am putting that on probably 9 times out of 10, unless it's the best in slot imprint that we figure out all the time in the game. This feels such good crowd control. It's absurd. But the hero, I wasn't too actually impressed by, which is quite crazy if you ask me. Honestly, I would put Odin Eternal, Hell Eternal. Heimdall, Freya, or Fenrir could have been an Eternal hero instead of Ymir. That's how it feels to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys want to, or what you guys think, basically. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I'd love to know. But it's weird. I would definitely want one of those guys in there. So that is, unfortunately, guys, another faction video done here. We've got all of the heroes, commons and commons, rares, epics, and legendaries done. It's been a very long video, nearly 2 hours. I do apologize, but guess what? It's what happens when we have all of the factions to do in this. So if you enjoyed the video, smash like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next one, stay safe, stay sneaky. Peace out, guys.